Have you ever opened ChatGPT to help with your class and then instead spend 5 or 10 minutes trying to explain to it what you want before you can even get an answer? In this video, I'm going to show you how to fix that using ChatGPT Projects so you can set things up once and you'll get answers that fit your class. I'm Chris. I've been teaching at the college level now for 17 years, and I'll be honest, I didn't start using AI because I was excited about it. I started using it because I knew if I ignored it, I was going to be left behind. And if you're not using it yet, you're going to run into that same reality. I would open up ChatGPT thinking, this is going to save me so much time, and then I would sit there for 5 or 10 minutes just trying to explain everything about what I wanted it to do, the background of my class, what I was teaching, what the topic was, what I wanted from it. And then when I'd finally hit enter, it would give me something back that looked fine, but honestly, it was generic and I didn't even use it. So then I'd go back in and rewrite the prompt and I'd add more detail and I'd try again. And I remember thinking to myself, this is supposed to be saving me time. And why is it taking me longer than just doing it myself? And at that point, I almost stopped using it. What changed for me was when I stopped starting from scratch every time I sat down at the computer. And that's where ChatGPT projects come in. A project is basically a folder for one ongoing task or topic. It's not for a random one-off question. It is for repeat tasks tied to either the same class, a workflow, or the same topic. You may have a project for each one of the classes that you're teaching. You may also have a project for your child's classwork. You might have a project for the trip to Italy that you're planning this summer. If you want ChatGPT to remember the context and all the background information and all the chats that you've had with it previously on this one particular topic, whatever that may be, you're going to want to set up a project. So there's 3 things that live inside of a project or inside of that specialized folder. There's project instructions, there's sources, and then there's the chats with the AI. So the easiest way for me to explain project instructions is if the project is the folder, the instructions are like a note you leave inside that folder telling the AI how to use everything that's in the folder. So kind of like an outline of what is in the folder and how you want it to be used. You're setting it up for one specific class or one repeatable task you do on a regular basis. The sources are files or materials you upload into that project. So if you're creating a class project, you might want to upload the textbook chapters. You might want to upload your lecture notes, assignment directions, rubrics, learning objectives. These are going to be files that live inside that folder. Sources are just the materials you give the project to work from. And lastly are the chats. And these are basically the conversations, and all of the conversations that you have within that project stay within that project and can be referenced. So everything related to that class, you would want to have the chat within that project. And it would rely on those materials that you upload. Every time you come back to that project, you're picking up right where you left off and you're not starting over. So once I set a project for my class, everything changed for me. I wasn't repeating myself. I wasn't rebuilding the same prompt every time I went into ChatGPT, and I wasn't starting from zero, hoping it would give me something useful. It gave me a much better starting point because it already had class context, the materials, and instructions. Now, the reality of this is that projects, just like everything on ChatGPT, is not perfect. It still needs your judgment,
But once you set up the project, it's much faster and much more useful. It's not magic, but it definitely gives you that better starting point.
So let me show you what this actually looks like for one of my classes. To start, you're going to find projects in the far left-hand menu and then click on New Project. Here you'll type the project name. In this case, I am naming this Introduction to Criminology because this project will be for that course that I teach. To set up your custom instructions for this particular project, you should click on the name of the project. This is where I set up my class once. I tell it what course this is, what my students struggle with, and what I actually want help creating. This is basically the same idea as the custom instructions from my last video, but it's specific to this class. I'm happy to share my custom instructions with you. Drop a comment with the word demo and I'll send it over to you. The next step is to set up your sources. This is what grounds the project in my actual class instead of random internet style answers. So you should upload things like your chapter material, maybe your course notes, assignment directions, learning objectives. Let's ask this project a question. In this particular scenario, I'm going to ask it to summarize a chapter from the ebook, which is one of those sources that I uploaded earlier. You can see that it easily does that, and throughout this response, you'll see which of those sources that it is referencing in its response here at the end. Now I have a full summary of chapter 1. And here I can ask the AI to maybe create some skeletal notes that I can give out in class so that as I lecture, students can fill in the blanks. And it does a great job creating skeletal notes with blanks throughout it. And again, you can see that it's coming from the source that I uploaded. You will want to go through this and check to make sure that the information it has given you is accurate before giving it to your students. And the last thing I want to share with you is that any chat that you have with the project is stored within the project. And therefore, those chats can also be part of the project's memory. One quick note. Project seems to only be available to those with a paid ChatGPT account. If you're on the free version and you don't have projects, you can still do the same thing, it's just more manual. Keep instructions and source files in a folder on your computer and upload them when you start your chat. If you're using ChatGPT for the same kind of task over and over again, projects are how you stop starting from scratch every time. Set it up once, give it real sources, and it will actually do the work from your class materials. Drop in the comments what's one thing you've tried to use AI for that just ended up being more work than it was worth. I'd love to hear your stories. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.